Boy, you know MinisForum's on a winning formula when they have trouble keeping products in stock. What's the AI370? This is a Zen 5 and Zen 5C, Ryzen AI9 HX. Everybody's going to shove AI in the product title, right? Well, let's take a look at this. This is a little different. It's a little bit of a departure from what MinisForum normally does, but it's still an insanely powerful, tiny little mini PC. So what you get in the box is a pretty standard form factor from MinisForum. They've upped the size of the cooling fan, and so it moves even more air than ever, but it also has more cooling dissipation than ever. This is the AI370, which is based around the AI9 HX370, which also includes the Radeon 890M, 32 gigabytes of memory, and 1 terabyte of storage. This has built-in LPDDR5 7500, RDNA 3.5, and it's that Strix Point CPU that you've read so much about. I know that some of you are tired of mini PC reviews, but you have to understand, I'm sort of building a collection here. We've got Bazite, we've got some really big things coming from Steam, from Valve, I think, to do with Linux and mini PCs and the APU. Look at what Valve was able to do with the Steam Deck. That's Zen 2. That's Zen 2 plus RDNA. And the RDNA in this is even beyond the RDNA in the Steam Deck. Imagine a Steam Deck based on this, or maybe not based on this, based on something beyond this. I want to be ready. I want to be ready with Linux performance, but I think it's also fair to say, how does it perform out of the box? What does it do with Windows? If you just want to buy it as, a mini PC for your grandma, family room machine, whatever, what does it do? It's also dual M.2, 80mm, so you can buy another one and upgrade. You don't have to take the other one out. LPDDR5 7800, but out of the box, it's still 112 nanoseconds. This platform is capable of like 90 nanoseconds of memory latency, but we are getting 90 gigabytes per second of memory read bandwidth throughput, and over 100 gigabytes per second write, and 82 gigabytes per second mixed. Our Cinebench 24 multi-core score is over 1100 points, with the full tune configuration out of the box is 1092 and 113 for the single core speed. It's also important to understand that the way that AMD is doing power efficient cores and performance cores is very, very different than the way that Intel is doing it. And it is a crime in your brain to think of them as the same approach, because they're not even remotely the same approach. Zen 5 is Zen 5. The core is the core. The core is the same. The core has all the same capabilities and everything. The difference between Zen 5 and Zen 5C is that Zen 5C's design has been optimized for best performance per watt. And that means that it has a lower ceiling on the maximum clock speed, but is overall much more power efficient. The full-size Zen 5 cores have wider highways for electrons, not bits. That's the difference. So physically, those cores are larger, they can clock higher, they can dissipate more heat better, but they don't have the win on performance per watt. The Zen 5C cores do. From a software and a computational and a ones and zeros standpoint, Zen 5 and Zen 5C are the same. Geekbench scores 2800 single core, 14857 multi-core. Very respectable Geekbench scores, and very respectable composite scores through all things in Geekbench. I also tried to run Procyon because why not? Because of the AI capabilities, and again, this is another part of why it's like, oh, this would be really handy to have some mini PCs with different capabilities. There really isn't a killer application that I can point to say, this is why you need AI on a mini PC. The whole point of the AI processor is to be able to do AI computation without killing your battery. In the context of a desktop computer, certainly, and to a lesser extent a mini PC, the AI coprocessor, the AI part of your processor, doesn't necessarily make sense. It could make sense if there was a lot of standardized, unicorn awesome software out there that needed that AI processing, but that's not there yet. A little bit of a chicken and egg problem. Let's add it and see if the software comes, because AI is transformative. Everybody's spending money on AI, but can this particular piece of hardware be used for AI to sort of figure that out? Don't know. Remains to be seen. The BIOS on this mini PC is the simplified BIOS. You don't have a ton of options. You do have power on and wake on LAN, and look, they've added HDMI CEC. You can power on your television now. Oh, it's almost like they watched the level 1 reviews. That is awesome. That is, I think this might be the first AMD mini PC that has HDMI CEC, which is a great media feature. So, your home theater machine, yes, this could work. I'll also call attention to the I/O. So you got two Type A ports on the front, USB-C on the front, plus the combo headphone microphone. You got a regular power button, and then you got a reset button. The power button, no fingerprint sensing, none of that. At the rear, we have two 2.5 gig LAN ports. So you could use this as a forbidden router, you could use this as a little mini home server, you could use this in a lot of cool, interesting ways. Power limit select has been simplified. Power limit performance, if you're going to use this for gaming or anything else, definitely set performance. Otherwise, balanced is fine. You do also have options for IOMMU and SVM. IOMMU on. SVM mode could make sense if you're trying to make use of USB 4 with a Thunderbolt enclosure, USB 4, PCIe tunneling. If you have a USB, theoretically that should be good. It is also possible to use the BIOS to disable the onboard M.2 slots and the network slots and everything else in case you were going to use this for network booting. It does support that. The case on this is interesting. It's a plastic topped case, which probably helps with Wi-Fi reception and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth keyboard. I don't have any specific complaints about. Seem to work well. MinisForum's getting the hang of this. There's not really a lot to complain about here in terms of fit and finish and form factor and everything else. Standard disclaimers apply when you're purchasing a system like this. Things like, will there be a BIOS update to solve a bug, or things like that. Look into those things and make sure that you're comfortable with a platform like this, because you're depending on MinisForum for those updates versus, say, Dell or HP. But as far as like a Dell or an HP or a Lenovo mini PC, this is also a lot cheaper, and you can do a lot of interesting things with it in terms of home server, off-label use, upgradability, and 4 + 8 cores in this tiny little package. At the wall, most of the time it's using less than 10 watts. Under full load, it can spike up to 100 watts in the performance mode, but most of the time it's going to be under 60-70 watts, even at full load. It's a laptop CPU, but you can turn it up to 11 when it's in a mini PC because it's got unlimited power. Unlimited power! And what all this is level 1 has been a quick look at the MinisForum AI370 and the NPU. If you want to see Bazzite on this, or other Linux distros, or some particular setup with your software, let me know. I'll be glad to give it a try. And like I say, surprisingly capable. Well, it's the Radeon 890M, so the performance of the Radeon 890M performs like a Radeon 890M. So, medium, low game settings, 720p, a little bit of 1080p for esports titles. Yeah, you can do it. Alright, that's enough rambling. I'm Wonderless Level 1. I'm signing out. You can find me in the Level 1 forums.